The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Why dost thou sit upon my grave and will dead lips to speak? Why dost thou weep upon my grave and will not let me sleep? My breast it is as cold as clay, my breath is earthly strong, and if you kiss my cold clay lips, your days they won't be long. How oft on yonder grave, sweetheart, where we were wont to walk, the fairest flower that e'er I saw has withered to a stalk. When will we meet again, sweetheart? When will we meet again? When the autumn leaves that fall from trees are green and spring up again. How oft on yonder grave, sweetheart, where we were wont to walk, the fairest flower that e'er I saw has withered to a stalk.
Good evening and welcome to McStabber Studios' Wraith Life Derailed Season 2, and I am the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Tam, and I play Isaac Candy.
I'm House, and I play Noah Frost.
I'm Urian, and I play Tark Tiernan.
I'm Evie Eternal, and I play Aurora Walker.
I'm Merlin Dare, and I play Alexis Langley.
I'm Ravenia, and I play Margot Fallon.
And welcome everyone to Season 2. It's been a while since we played this, and we can tell because the amazing Shanky forgot to start recording on our initial kickoff of this stream. So we're doing, this time it is recording, and welcome back everybody. We're at Wraith Season 2. And where we left off of Season 1 was, of course, that this group of Wraiths, this circle, had been taken prisoner right outside of Prudence's haven, her haunt. And you weren't in chains. You were being allowed to walk back because you were going willingly. And as you go to leave, one of the Legionnaires looks over and you take over, Reverend, grabbing Scout in the head. And a large group of the Legionnaires, along with two of the three Hellhounds that were there, leave, leaving you with what appears to be 5 Legionnaires and a Hellhound. And the man that you've heard is Reverend, you can tell. He's got the collar that shows under his breastplate. He looks you up and down, and we're going to be walking a bit. We can't go quickly. We don't have enough people. We're going to be setting up camp probably about an hour out of here. We got to hunker down for the night. We're not sleeping. But it's not safe to travel at night where we're going through. But if you get any ideas of running, don't. Caroline over there, she'll find you. When he says Caroline, one of the dogs just, oof. I make myself clear, right?
You do?
Good. I'd hate to put you in chains, but I will. Give you a little dignity. While I can.
That's kind. Thank you.
And you start walking down the road, and I will turn it to the players.
As Alexis steps forward, her appearance shifts, basically from the ground up. And when she takes her next step, she looks about 10 years older than she just did a moment ago, basically about how she looked on the train. She's wearing a well-tailored suit and sensible heels now. And she walks up closer to Isaac and whispers, "Do you recognize any of these?"
Storyteller, do I recognize any of them?
There's one you recognize for sure, and that was from your trip down where you ran into the first group. The rest of them you don't, other than you're pretty sure that's one of the 3 dogs you'd seen. I can't say that they're easy to tell apart, but they're not exactly identical either. So you're pretty sure it's one of them, but other than the one, you don't recognize them directly. But you do know that one was in that group.
There may be a couple of them, but the rest, no. There's got to be more of them out there because there were a lot more, and I only know a couple of these faces. Well, one face and one dog, I'm pretty sure of.
Then we will watch our words. And I say that a little bit louder.
You know, when they said that they could turn people into dogs, I gotta admit I was kind of doubting it, but shit.
One of the guys looks over. Why would you doubt it?
It's just odd to think about, like turning dead human beings into animals, coins, and
what are you wearing right now?
I've still got my armor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think what you did to make that armor couldn't be done to do that?
It seems kind of, I don't know, cruel to do it to somebody else, unwillingly, especially.
Oh,
I mean, I assume it's unwilling. I don't know.
Yes and no. Hey, Carolyn, did you choose that form?
Caroline.
Or Caroline? Caroline, you choose that form? No. Caroline, would you have liked the alternative? Caroline, no. You see? She chose.
I guess the alternative would have been
What do you think?
being ripped apart and
Coin.
broken down. Yeah.
Or brick. Hell, I think there's even a few souls in this breastplate I've got on.
That's really fucked up.
If I may ask, I turned to Caroline, what did you do to earn said predicament?
The guy looks over at you. It's not for me to say. And then the guy you know is the Reverend actually turns around and goes, Skin Road. What you'd call possession. She's paying her punishment. 10 years.
So that's I mean, it seems obvious one of the things you shouldn't do, but
It seems like there's an awful lot that know how to do it and do it on the regular.
When you were alive, do you know how to rob a bank? Did you rob a bank? No.
I didn't know how to rob a bank. I usually took care of criminals.
Well, then you'll understand the need to punish those who break the laws, don't you?
Of course I do. However, there has to be some understanding that when new souls are just left to fend for themselves, how are they to know what's within the rules and what isn't?
Ignorance is never an excuse.
While I can appreciate that, it is a failing in your system.
You know what? You should take that up with those in charge.
I plan to.
But I can tell you, she was not a new soul. She stole a motorcycle, rode around, crashed it. As I recall, the Quick was hurt. And she was given her choice. She chose Legion punishment rather than face the council.
This council, it is the
Anacreons, the ones you run it. You see, every group's different. She's Emerald Legion like us. Like I've been told you are. And she has a choice. She could let the Legion handle the punishment, or it goes to the council. Now, for the Legion, 10 years. Being useful to the Legion. If you go to the council, you could be slapped in chains, sent to Stygia, turned into something, made a coin. Let's just say there's a lot worse fates than a 10-year punishment.
Are all legions militaristic?
Well, they all have one.
Well, just because you have a military doesn't mean you're militaristic. The Emerald Legion, based on
those who die by accident. If you think we're militaristic, I got bad news for you. There is some that a lot different than this one. The Grim Legion. It's a lot more militaristic than we are.
What's the qualifier for that?
Violence.
Oh, we could be qualified for that too.
You weren't killed by violence. You were killed in a train crash. That is called an accident.
We were killed by someone being skin rode, overpowered the fucking train to make it derail. That's murder.
That was an action taken on the train. By my understanding, that does not count as dying by violence. Now, if this individual ran you over with the train, perhaps, or if this individual skid rode and shot you, perhaps, but he crashed a train. That makes
It's not an accident. That was intentional.
We were supposed to die in a bomb at the
Main Street
station. We were going to Main Street Station.
I don't know what you're talking about on that one. All I was told was come get you.
I'm sure this is above your pay grade.
Anacreon Daniel said, you're the Legions, come get you. The Emerald Legion owns you.
And he's in charge of the Legion?
Of the Emerald Legion in Richmond. He's not the Dread Lord. He's not he's not the Dead Lord in charge of us all, but he is the one in charge of Richmond. Local representative, you could say. I am a marshal. They call me a reverend, but I am the marshal. My territory is Hanover.
Were you a reverend?
Oh, yes.
How do you feel about lost souls not being shepherded?
I don't know. How do you feel if everything you read and believed in life turned out to be a bunch of crock of shit and you were selling snake oil to people who believed you and
it was
you
order
thought
for
you
the
were
masses.
doing right? So let's just say that we shepherd what we can to survive.
How does one rise to a position such as yourself within a Legion or the Emerald Legion?
Be useful. Same way you get anywhere. See, we don't really care about birth. We don't really care about money, connections you had in life. None of that matters anymore. Are you useful? Are you able to
Talent,
survive?
skills.
Are you strong enough to resist the urge? Are you strong enough to fight the entropy, the death, the oblivion that waits for us all? If you are, you find a place. If you're not, you become useful another way.
Is service to the Legion forever, or are you ever released?
No, I think you're misunderstanding how this works. I don't work for the Legion because it's a job. I don't work for the Legion because of anything other than it's my way to be useful.
In the afterlife.
If you don't become useful, you become forged.
Tools.
Or you can take your chances on the outside. Take your chances outside the city. But if you don't have a nice citadel to hide in, when the specters come looking for you, what are you going to do?
What can they do? What can they? How can they hurt us?
They can destroy us.
Can we destroy them?
Well, of course. But there's the problem. You're going to find there's more of them than there are us. And because all things go to entropy in the end, what do you think they do over time? You think they get weaker? They are creatures of oblivion, and the oblivion grows stronger. Everyone we lose feeds them. Why do you think we turn people into coins? Why do you think we forge them into items? Because that way even the weakest of us are useful and don't feed the maw of oblivion. They don't make us weaker. They don't make us get destroyed.
There.
Okay, Aurora, I get it. This is all good plot exposition and background. I know you need it, but really, this isn't the exciting stuff. How long is it going to take to get there? How are we going to escape?
I know. Okay, I'm not. I don't control this.
No, you ain't controlling. You ain't controlling shit. I am.
Oh, I didn't. I was talking to.
Listen up, lady. I'm going to give you the only advice. If you listen to nothing I say, you'll listen to this.
Okay.
Whatever you do, where you're going, and the people you're going to be drugged before, do not answer that voice in front of them. Do not acknowledge that that voice can hold you. Because if so, you show weakness. And weakness means the forge.
Okay. Yeah. I won't be able to talk to you for a while then. I'm sorry. You understand, I'm sure.
Who the hell is this guy? Come on, I've never done anything to lead you astray.
I know.
Never.
I know, but shit. You don't want to end up like a brick, do you?
And the Reverend turns back and keeps walking. And as you're walking, one of the troopers edges close and goes, he's a hard ass.
Obviously.
Name's Taylor.
Alexis Langley.
But he's a hard ass for a reason.
I get it. You're fighting for survival. I get it.
He was given the marshaldom of Hanover because he knows what he's doing. And he's held it with a fraction of the troops we should have.
So your legion is not as numerous as you need it to be.
None of them are.
Interesting.
You know that train wreck, that bell you heard?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when that bell rang, we were attacked.
By what?
Specters. There's a maelstrom. They come out with it. Fucking striplings.
Yeah.
Children.
Right.
Have you ever been attacked by a mob of children with claws that rip your
No.
body to shreds.
We're
It's-
fairly new. I think 3 days dead.
And that's the worst part. They come and they attack. And the emotions, what they do, it's... So let's just say we never have the numbers we need. And between the heretics and the renegades and everything else going on, there's not enough of us.
There was mention of not having enough people to move faster. How could we move faster based on the amount of people?
There's powers that do it. And the Reverend actually turns around and goes, just say it. I know you're going to say it. You know I say it all the time anyway. He's talking guilds. There's a guild called the Harbingers. They have the ability to take shortcuts. We move faster than we should. We get there quicker than it should be. Sometimes they can even open up openings that lead right from where you are to where you want to go.
Fascinating.
Now, he don't want to mention it because guilds are banned. Not allowed to have guilds.
All of them.
All of them, yes. In Stygia, it's ruthlessly upheld. You'll find in other places, as long as people toe the line and they're not causing problems and they're, as I've pointed out, useful, there's a lot less hard-knuckled approach to it.
So how do newer spirits learn?
From the guilds.
But they're banned.
Uh-huh. But they're useful.
Real world. Tit for tat. Favors
Dirty
for
ground.
favors.
No, I just wanted them to say it.
They learn. I mean, think about what I just said. This is dangerous. We're going to have to set up camp. We don't need sleep. We don't have to rest because we get tired of walking. But we're going to stop and set up a defensive camp. Why? Because there's things out here that will attack us. Now, if we could do it quickly and go from here, halfway there, all the way there, or if we could go here 3 times as fast, it's a lot safer than what we're doing right now. And if a Harbinger can do it, why would we stop anyone from learning that? Why would we prevent you from joining that guild? Now, if you're one of those fucking rotten bastards of some of the others, well, that's a different discussion.
What others?
Well, we've got a number of them. Matter of fact, rumor has it, from what I was told, want to use an alchemist. That's what brought you to our attention.
That.
One of you caused some metal to decay in front of the quick, which caused them to talk. That is an alchemist. That is a very naughty thing to do because, well, there's no way to hide that it was supernatural. There's no way it can be used other than to break the rules. That guild is banned. That guild is not allowed to be. And yet, here we are. We'll find out which of you did it later.
Fascinating.
But that's what tipped us on to you.
Well, so fucking goofy. There are banned superpowers.
Any other guilds that are considered more useful than the others?
You'll find the maskers. They're rather important. We're not wearing them at the time. But once you get to Richmond, you'll see masks are important.
Literal masks or
Literal
changing your
masks.
face?
It's a mask you wear. You'll want to wear it. And some people actually have ones that they put on or off, but some of them have the mask made from themselves. It's easier that way. It can't be stolen. You know, if you have a mask that you have made of yourself, how are people taking it from you? I don't know why it started. I don't know how it started, but you'll notice all of those in power wear them. I don't wear mine out of here because, well, our I'm just a lowly fucking legionnaire. The Reverend don't wear hairs, but I bet you before we get to Richmond, he will.
So not a lot of transparency.
The closest I've ever been able to figure out is it makes sure people understand the position. His mask is the mask of the Marshal of Hanover. If there is a new Marshal of Hanover, they will wear his mask to show the authority.
Interesting.
This is also cloak and dagger.
Well, let's put it a different way. You see what you did with armor. See,
Yeah,
Caroline over there, right?
yeah.
So how easy it is to impersonate somebody else.
Okay, that's...
But if you have a mask,
Shit.
all the best ones are forged not from themselves, but it's forged from, well, souls. If you have a mask to designate your position, and it's a mask that can't be created by others, then you'll always know the one with that mask is them.
Makes sense.
Don't get that look. I don't know your name, but I can tell you, and he's looking at you, Noah, don't get that look. Everyone gets that look when we talk about making things as souls.
Oh, it's abhorrent.
No, it's not. Survival.
A lot of atrocities have been done in the name of survival.
Do you know what happens when you lose?
Yes, I've seen it.
You feed the oblivion. You make it stronger.
How do you make Oblivion stronger? That doesn't make any sense. It's the end of everything, right? That's how things end. They would go to Oblivion, or they would be destroyed by Oblivion. Is it a literal force?
Yes.
How
It's a malice. It's a hunger.
do you...
That voice that the Reverend told you not to speak to? Do you think it got its power from somewhere? Gets it from Oblivion.
Oh, God.
It's what strengthens everything. It's why we're here. It's why everything looks decayed. It's why we are. And it gets stronger every year.
Is this a battle that can be won?
It's been going on as
Oh,
long
man.
as... Oh, shit. Longer than even Charon was.
Shit.
And we don't seem to be gaining ground.
Are you losing ground?
200 years ago, we'd had double our numbers.
Holy shit.
And that's...
Now, whether that's because Richmond is falling, or they're going to Stygia, or they're going somewhere else, it's not for me to say. But I know 200 years ago, there were twice as many of us here.
Could use a fucking cigarette right about now.
But we got a camp to set up because I can see the Reverend signaling at me.
Thank you for the information.
Whatever you do, don't push him. He's serious.
Understood.
And as this guy walks away, all of you get a very strong smell of cigarette smoke.
God damn it. I wish that would stop happening. It smells absolutely disgusting.
I'm sorry.
And as you're watching, you see the Legionnaires, the Reverend is barking out orders. And they're setting up. You know, they're not making tents. There's no need to have a tent, but they're spreading out, and he's telling people where to stand and watch and who's going to rotate guards. And they even set up, you see him pull from a bag, a lantern that he sets on the ground that glows with a pale blue light. And he sets it down right in the center of it, of the where he says the camp is. He says, as it gets darker, this will let us see a little bit more. It's not that bright yet. Don't worry. It will be. And they set about checking things and making sure everything's set up and they've got a good watch and they can see things. They're doing other things that you can't quite understand. You see them moving hands and gesturing, but you don't know what they're doing. And I leave the circle to where they're finally getting a bit.
Have they directed us where to go?
You've just, no.
Oh.
You were just left standing in the center of the place near a lantern while they're busying about setting things up.
Isaac, are you doing okay?
I'm
Are
fine.
you? Okay.
How are you?
I mean, it's a hell of a story. I'm gonna write, I guess.
Who are you going to write it for? What are you going to write it on? Who's going to read it?
I don't fucking know. One step at a time, okay?
He's awful cranky.
How about the rest of you? You know, this is a hell of a thing. Tark, Margot, Alexis, Noah.
Nothing you can do about that smell. No offense.
Shh. I can try. Let me see. You can suppress it, right? By utilizing a willpower.
You can burn a willpower to force that smell out of your mind and quit thinking about it in your case, because when you thought about it, you could use a smoke.
You smelled like smoke.
You started smelling like smoke again. So if that's what you're choosing to do, use a willpower and the smoke smell will fade for now.
After we pay back more, we'll try to see if we can't find cigarettes for you somehow.
As long as they're not made out of fucking people, okay? I don't need a cigarette that bad.
Dear God. Oh.
That's terrible.
They can only make them out of people who died from cancer. It's the Black Lung Legion.
Oh. Fuck. We
It
are
shouldn't be
so
funny.
fucking screwed.
I'm just glad she doesn't want an outhouse.
Hmm.
I don't think we do that anymore.
I hope not. Just great.
I have a feeling I know how this is going to go.
What do you think?
Based on what they've told us, of kind of getting a better picture of how their society operates, what their government is like. We'll probably be sequestered for a time to stew and get anxious before being presented before a tribunal.
Yes, but we've got that mark. It's hard to deny that,
that'll be
right?
enough with Prudence's message to Sabrina.
Hopefully.
Hey, at least Jill didn't do it.
But then again, I guess we don't know that Sabrina's any better than them. Does it really matter at this point?
No.
I guess fate sounds cooler than accidental deaths, or
Yeah, it sounds like the personal injury lawyer of guilds or legions.
fucking bureaucracy banning guilds that are about. It's like, well, we have them, but we don't. Of course, they're all wishy-washy.
No idea who did that thing to the train.
I don't either.
What?
It's fucking crazy how that happened. It might have been one of the other race that was with us, you know?
Doesn't matter. Whoever
The
did
fact
it,
is,
it's
they
not-
want to bolster their numbers, and so they decided to grab every soul they could from the train.
Mm-hmm.
Like a
So they may
family.
have ways of figuring it out.
They may.
What's the
Luckily, you
point?
have someone in this group here that is very familiar with courts and dealing with government officials and
I assume that's you.
negotiating.
Yes, our FBI director.
And I happen to have been married to a fucking lawyer for decades.
That might help, actually.
Damn, no wonder you broke off with him.
Yeah, he was a right bastard.
And that's assuming that laws and courts work the same here as they do in the living. I imagine they do because it's people anyway. So.
Well, they have a set of rules that apply to those that don't have the power to break them and get away with it. Is basically what I'm picking up.
That bitch thinks she's gonna get through this. She's gonna navigate this system just like she did in real life. She's gonna be a fucking brick, you know that, right? She's too cocksure, too smart for her own good. They won't like it. Your only chance is to get away from these fucking people. Find one of these guilds, maybe. Get the fuck away.
You need to find out where to go first.
Just like any government, any bureaucracy, there's corruption.
Of course.
What I know.
You think everyone being dead would be a lot easier for everyone to move in the same fucking direction, right?
I know.
Like, what the hell you got to lose? You're fucking dead. There's no religion here. Look where the fuck we are.
Haven't you heard? We are all marching the same direction.
Towards oblivion.
We just have to try and slow the roll a little bit.
Yep. We're going the long way. That's what we're doing.
Well, maybe we should beat oblivion. I mean, if they're waging a war, it's got to be a win condition, right?
That's something we need to find out.
It almost sounds like one of those unsolvable puzzles.
I love puzzles. I love those fucking things.
Is everyone okay after seeing what family came?
Yeah, it was really hard, but yeah.
Not okay.
Storyteller, is there anything that Alexis can lean against or sit on within the area?
Because you haven't gone in substantial. This is an empty parking lot. You can go actually up against one of the light poles because as any parking lot is, there's light posts that have the concrete bases. You can lean up against the light pole or even set on the concrete base leaning against the pole itself. You're set up right inside of an area that has them.
Okay. Alexis is just going to walk over and sit on the concrete base of a light pole. And
as you do it, you start to wonder about that lamp because you're sitting where there's lights. And as it's getting darker, the lights are coming on, the lamp is still sitting there. You're kind of curious why you need a lantern.
No, I'm really not curious.
But it strikes you as odd.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of tech I'm unfamiliar with on this side, so that's not a priority at this moment.
Park, you're good with tech, right? Like, what does that do? What's the lantern for? You have any idea?
I have no idea what.
If you'd like
what
to
the
roll.
mechanism is. Sure.
I mean, it's a lantern, but I will let you roll anyway.
Okay.
Let me find what I would have you roll. I'm not quite sure what you'd roll for it yet. An enigma roll would be interesting. Perception enigma, intelligence enigma, because that's great for puzzles.
Okay. If I use intelligence, can I use researcher?
No, you can't really research that.
Okay.
But if anyone wants to roll, you can roll intelligence or perception and enigmas to puzzle it
I'll
out.
try perception.
Standard difficulty, but just tell me how many successes.
They're about the same, so I'll do perception enigma.
3.
2, 3. None. No rolling hills? Or, no, it's not. 3, huh? You suspect there's definitely a reason for it. The design of the actual casing of the lamp, it looks like an old style, what would be done from a guard patrol, where it would be unhooded when they needed to brightly lighten something, even though this doesn't have any kind of hood to shield it. But it's the kind that is kept dim up until they need it, in which case it's normally brightened a lot to blind those who haven't adjusted to to a new light. But it makes no sense with no hood.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it looks like it's one of those lamps that you can brighten suddenly, like to dazzle an enemy, but it's missing parts. I don't see how this is going to work. But I mean, we'll find out, I guess.
Aurora,
Fucking guys.
you recognize the color of the flame in it, though. You've seen that flame before.
Shit. That flame, whatever that flame is, that shit hurts.
Is that the barrow flame?
Barrow, whatever the fuck it was.
That burned you?
Yeah. Aurora's gonna kind of...
I'll take a step back.
Yeah, secretly pull out her lighter and just flick it real quick.
Same color.
It matches.
Looks almost exactly like it, but there seems to be more of it in that lantern than what the little flame that comes off your lighter.
Yeah, she's gonna close it again. Yeah, it's
Isaac's gonna walk by and put his hand over her and go, "You probably don't want to do that in this group. I imagine there's probably a rule against having anything."
Fucking probably right.
It's for everything. Where to go, what to do, what to think.
Well, luckily my armor has hidden pockets.
And one of the guard comes over. It's not one you've spoke to yet. He says, just make yourself comfortable. I'm Enrique.
Enrique, how does this work? How does this lamp work?
Oh,
What does it do?
it's warning. If it gets bright, well, the best thing I can tell you is pray. But the Reverend will tell you no point in praying.
What makes it get brighter?
Oblivion.
There's Maelstrom.
Is it a specter detector?
Not necessarily. Kind of. Yeah, it can pick those. Some. It hasn't worked very well against doppelgangers.
What's a doppelgang? I mean, I know
Like the fantasy
out there,
drop?
but what here?
Probably what you're expecting. There's specters that they don't look like specters. They look like us, normal wraiths.
Facsimiles.
Yeah. They will capture somebody, replace them, infiltrate, try to get into the city, collect intelligence, lead other specters in, cause problems.
Wait, who the fuck does specters work for then?
Oblivion.
Was Oblivion a person?
It is. It has a malignancy. It has a thought. It wants to destroy us all. And they work for it. Now, if you believe the bullshit they say in Stygia, there's malfeasance that are super specters that are like generals that lead them, but I think that's just a crock of shit. But needless to say, every once in a while we catch a doppelganger in the city. Every once in a while we find a pack of specters running loose. And we've learned to try to find ways to give us a better chance. This works good out here away from the city itself. as best we can. It definitely lets us know if an opening opens up into the Tempest nearby. Normally when those open up, not fun things are coming out.
Shit, do you need help guarding? I'm armed for it, I guess.
You got nice armor, but I can tell you, Stygia steel is better than anything you got.
Probably.
And for all the talk you heard, one of the advantages of becoming a full centurion in the Legionnaires is you get to do a nice bit of Stygian steel.
Don't know how to feel about that. People.
Yeah, it is. Or was. But they were weak. And now they protect us. And they hold the Oblivion at bay. And you can feel how you like about it. But if you find a way to survive a little longer, you'll take it. Not many of us have those morals anymore. Those go in the first 10 years. Reverend was one of them. He was just as holy as you think. All souls are sacred. All lives are sacred. Welcome your brothers with love. Till that brother tried to stick a knife in him. Because it wasn't his brother. It was a doppelganger. And he saw what happens. And he came around too. You will.
Is there any way out besides that? Any way back? Or is this it?
I don't know. What do you think? You can click your heels 3 times, Dorothy?
I'm willing to try.
You're dead.
No, you're not.
There's no way back from you're dead. I mean, make peace with that and make the best life you can.
Unlife, you mean?
Well, you can have that argument. But are you standing here talking? Do you still think? Do you still feel? So are you really dead yet? I mean, you're dead.
Nope.
But
You're right.
But you're still alive. Part of you is. And hold on to it.
I think I can do that.
And when you get to the city, my advice, do what you've got to do to survive it. Because if you're weak, you will be sent to the fortress. But if you can be useful and contribute, you could be here 100, 200, 300 years. Hell, Miss Prudence there. She's been around 3 or 4 already. She's still here.
So just what does the Legion consider being useful?
Skills. Can you fight? Can you take orders? Can you do anything? I mean, are you good at physical labor? Can you investigate and help find things that have gone on? Are you good at gathering information? Can you just sit in an area and be quiet and listen to the quick and figure out what they're doing? Useful things.
Okay.
Yes, Isaac.
While this conversation's going on, Isaac is going to look over at the Reverend and use Soul Sight.
Okay. And Soul Sight is where you're going to check to see his shadow.
Right.
And let me find the roll for it on it real quick.
It is Perception Castigate.
Perception Castigate. Okay. Let me pull it up. I got it right here. Soul Sight. Because now I've learned to actually properly have my book open. Perception Castigate. It is not resisted, it looks like. So go ahead. Actually, nope. It's going to, the difficulty is his shadow or the Shadow's permanent or the Wraith willpower. So go ahead and tell me, get your roll. And as a rounding thing, how many above 6 do you have? I'm just curious.
I'm taking away for a 1, so 3.
Okay. You know that right now you can tell this much. His shadow is very pale and light. It's there, but it's a wisp of a shadow.
So the fact I spent an entire career doing investigations.
You might have a use in allegiance. Hunting down heretics and renegades. Hunting down doppelgangers and those who work with the specters. Now, I don't want to go and say something I'm not supposed to, but when I say hunting down heretics, you're going to have to hunt down the right heretics, not the wrong ones.
Oh, there's distinctions?
Some heretics are more useful than others.
Wow.
All heretics are not allowed. All heretics are heretics for a reason.
Because they believe in religion, right?
No, not always. They are heretics because they do not believe in what was ordained in Stygia.
Got you.
Some it's religious, some it's moral, some it's ethical. Some of what you call heretics are a little more than suicide cults that manage to commit suicide. And here they are. Heard of one down in Atlanta. Called themselves Sons of Fire. And they worshipped fire itself. Half of them burned up into nothing. Because in case you haven't learned yet, we're not immune to fire, even on this side.
Yeah.
A renegade, in case you don't know, is just somebody who won't live in the hierarchy. They don't agree with what we are and our rules and our structure. They're hunted too because they make us all weaker. Because they're alone out here and they succumb to the specters and become doppelgangers or otherwise strengthen oblivion. But the heretics are the ones who flat out renounce.
However, y'all seem to have a working relationship with Miss Prudence.
She's not a renegade. She is hierarchy. She just doesn't live in Richmond.
Ah, interesting distinction.
She believes in Stygia. She believes in the rules of Stygia, the structure of Stygia. She was Lady Fate's Anacreon. We all know Prudence. And if she's not serving, we still give her respect. Because she's earned it. Why she lives out here is her choice. But she's not a renegade.
Why isn't she in Anacreon anymore?
She left. She stepped down. Gave it to Sabrina.
Why do you laugh?
You'll find out when you meet Sabrina.
Oh, fuck. That sounds great.
Let's just say she shocks everyone who meets her. But, yeah, you have uses if you're an investigator. Yes, Isaac.
I would like to soul side against him as well. Or on him, not against.
Okay, so go ahead. Perception, castigate. His shadow's about the same. It's got the same kind of substance he does. They're about on par with each other.
Noah's going to just kind of find a spot to sit, not outside of whatever maybe perimeter is set up, but just kind of on his own.
Okay, you still sitting within the lantern light, but kind of to the side. And Enrique goes, I know you think what they did to Caroline is rough.
She chose it.
Her choices was that, or for her crime, skin riding, most likely, especially skin riding that involved injury to a quick. Most likely she was going to go to the forges.
Could I hear, despite where I being out, could I hear that?
Oh, yeah. You're close
Is
enough.
no one going to comment on the fact that he made a dog pun? Rough.
I
Dog.
heard it too.
Just me.
Just
even
you.
in death, I
Hey,
can't
mister,
escape
keep your
them.
humor. You'll need it. I'll be honest. You notice a lot of us don't smile and laugh much anymore. Hold on to it. Because you're going to find there's not much funny around anymore.
That bites.
But remember what I said. She chose because she's a survivor. And she chose to survive this way. Hell, at least they didn't make her a full fucking bar guest, okay?
What?
What?
Oh, you ain't sin.
We're brand fucking new, man.
They,
Come on.
the particular bad ones, rather than they go to a forge, all right. It's a different kind of forge. They use what you did to make your armor. Then they torture them and break their minds. Put collars on them of Stygian steel that are spiked, that injure them, and create what amounts to mindless, slavering, monster attack dogs
Jesus.
that only know how to obey the one in charge of the kennel.
As
And
I
when the-
said, atrocities done in the name of survival.
And when the specters come, they're let loose to fight the specters. Even I find that one hard to cope
Well,
with. Most of us do. But considering how many times they've saved us, as much as it disturbs me, I don't fault them because it buys us more time. Maybe Charon will come back. Hopefully he'll come back. Find a way to save us from this. I gotta go do some more stuff. Don't worry, we'll be coming in. Just stay in the light here. You'll be safe. But remember what he said. Even if you don't see us, you're being watched. Hell, I don't even see Caroline around here right now, but you can guarantee wherever she is, she's still watching you.
Yeah.
Relax,
Thanks
take a
for
load
that.
off for a while. And he wanders off again.
Guess we just fuck around for 12 hours now.
No, it's 12 hours, For us.
You're dead, yeah.
I'm going to try and sleep out of habit, not because I need to.
As you're sitting,
That sounds good. I'm dead on my feet.
a light snow starts to fall. And it's odd, snowing. You know it's cold, but your body doesn't register it as cold, really. And you all realize that right now, it's actually Christmas. Christmas Eve. And you're in a parking lot with snow around a lantern. As you're trying to settle in, the lantern suddenly glows with a bright blue that casts the whole area in light. And this is where we are going to go to break. And we will see you in 10 minutes, everybody.
She watches life from the gloom. Friends she lost, and lovers too. That simple life she once knew before the cursed dark consumed. And every clock is broken, and every step is hopeless, living in the gloom. And every day gets longer till no one can remember, lost in the gloom. She sings a song to the moon, the loneliest song you ever knew. A friend she lost, lovers too, of life before she fell to gloom. She watches life from the gloom. Friends she lost, and lovers too. And that simple life she once knew before the cursed dark consumed. dance with the dark ones. Hush, child, open your eyes. You are not alone. We are your dark ones, holding you close. Come dance with us, dance in the darkness. We've been waiting for you. That world doesn't want you like we do. We see you, for in the night fire shines bright. Come dance with us, dance in the darkness. Oh, how we've been waiting for you. Why fight the night when the night is endless? Why cling to the light when the light always diminishes? Come dance in the dark and you will be fearless. Let the dark kill the love in your heart till your heart is painless. Why fight the night when the night is endless? Why cling to the light when the light always diminishes? Come dance in the dark and you will be fearless. Let the dark kill the love in your heart till your heart is painless.
Welcome back. Before this break, the circle got some stark realities into just how callous the other wraiths have become over time, especially in regards to what they do to survive. And of course, this lantern got brighter, a lot brighter, glowing with a very bright blue glow surrounding. It didn't change the area it glowed in, it just glowed a lot lighter. And as it gets lighter, suddenly the legionnaires that you didn't see come rushing back into the light, drawing their weapons that are all swords of that same dull gray material you saw that Thomas used, to where it's dull and gray when you look at it. But at the edge of your vision, when not looking directly at it, it's almost glowing in a silver light. And as they stand there, they're just looking. You all stay here in the center of the light.
Yeah. Fuck this.
I don't know what's going on, but
Aurora's gonna turn her arm into a fucking broadsword.
And you suddenly, you're gonna moliate?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, let's roll that real quick.
All right.
While she's doing that, can I make a foreshadow roll? I know it's obvious, but I'm going to do it now.
What do I roll?
Give me one second. I'll get you your roll for it.
Perception and something, I think your choice.
Yeah.
And I get my fatalism to that as well.
Perception and give me 1 second. Just hang on. I'll tell you right now. Pull the right sheet up. Perception and awareness, or you can go alertness. Either one works for this particular event, because it's technically supernatural or not. I believe because you don't have enough skill yet, you can't turn it to both weapon and armor at the moment.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Can I add my insightful specialty?
Yes. Yeah, because there's another level that lets you do both.
Okay. Well, I guess the armor fades.
I'm double checking. Let me double check the read one more, just to make sure. I don't want to, mess you up on that. You cannot create both armor and weapons at the same time with armory. So as a result, creating both requires 2 uses. So you can keep the armor, you just have to reuse it to make your weapon. So yes.
Okay, so I'll just reuse it then.
Yep. Intelligence plus Moliate.
Beautiful.
Difficulty is your stamina plus 3.
Stamina plus 3.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming 6.
Target number for is 6.
Okay, 5 minus 2, 3.
3. Okay.
Question
yes.
for you, storyteller. As it is something I have not used before, I'd like your clarification on if it can be used in combat.
Which one?
Morphin Embrace.
Which guild is that under?
That is under Phantasm.
Phantasm?
Yep, Morphin Embrace. It's a level 3 common.
Looking at it.
That basically puts someone to sleep.
Make other race fall asleep just as if they were mortal. You can try to use it.
Okay.
But if you're using it on a specter,
would it work?
It won't work.
Fuck.
I got
the most
5
useless
successes.
fucking set of skills.
No, it's very useful against other race, but not against a specter. How many did you get, Aurora?
5. I got all 9s, basically.
Oh, that's awesome, because that makes you have a weapon. Your weapon now has an additional die in hand-to-hand combat.
Hell yeah.
So you get 5 extra dice when you do combat with it. And as you're standing here, Noah, there is danger, but it's not to you. There is no danger at all to you, but there is danger. And as you're standing there, you start to see movement, and you notice that all these lights that were street lights above you have dimmed, almost casting no light at all. Only real light you have is this lantern. And there's a number of shapes moving just outside the lantern. And as they get closer, you make out 7 or 8 shapes. And they get a little closer. And you can make out a hood of a robe, a long black robe on each one. And then they step into the edge of the light, and you're looking at all of them. Actually, there's more behind them. There's 10 in total. Robed completely in black. But the robe moves of its own accord, not with the wind, not with anything. The robes are just rustling. And they're actually wrapped in heavy chains all around them. And they step into the light at first and look, and you hear a gasp from your legionnaires. And these things just stand there. All you hear is start to hear a moan. Slowly builds, very soft at first. And it just slowly climbs in volume. And then they start walking. And they close in on the one you were told was named Taylor. And you see the legionnaires kind of form ranks, shoulder to shoulder. And these things ignore you totally. And as they get closer to the legionnaires, you see them falling back, retreating from these things coming at them. And the panic is strong in their eyes and the fear. And even Caroline whimpers and runs off into the darkness rather than face these. And in a few seconds, yes, Isaac.
I want to be clear. You said they closed ranks around Taylor?
Around Taylor.
So he's moving with, okay.
Mhm.
So they're all moving together. Okay.
And not one of them has tried to swing at these things as they're just closing in. And then they step out of the light, leaving you all in the light where you can't see what's going on with the Legionnaires.
Okay, what the fuck was that?
The hell are those things?
They don't
No
want us.
clue.
They don't want us.
I know that,
Fuck,
but
I
now
don't-
are they going to basically reap those guys and now we're going to be sitting ducks out here?
I don't know. They come close, I'll fucking massacre them.
You see a wraith stumble in from the light, from the direction that these things originally came from. It's a very thin man. His form tattered, damaged, rent, all kinds of marks on it. His clothes in ruins.
Name.
And
now.
he collapses right to the ground in front of you.
Okay, I'm going to do sleep sense on him.
Shit, somebody grab him too.
Okay, and as you go to do it, his panicked eyes start looking at everybody. Go ahead and you can roll it while you're trying it.
Okay, I thought he was asleep.
No, you have to roll to use your
Sleep sense is
sleep sense.
to
He's
determine what they're dreaming of.
Oh, he's not asleep. He just
Okay.
collapsed to the ground. He's staring. His eyes are mad, wild, staring. He's muttering something to himself.
I'm not gonna. I'll grab him then. Fuck it.
Oh, you
move
have a
over
weapon
and-
for an arm.
Yeah.
I'll grab him
Be
with my
careful.
other one.
Okay.
I ain't gonna grab him with the sword.
What is everyone else doing?
I'm going to run up and try to help grab him.
I'm just keeping my eyes to our backside. I'm gonna just keep an eye
Does
out.
he look even remotely familiar?
No. But based on what you've seen of yourselves, he's in worse shape than even you saw the voice's tattered form. This is not a specter form. This is a wraith who's been through a lot.
I am going to make him go to sleep.
Okay.
So I use one pathos,
Okay, you can try it. I will roll against you.
and it's intelligence and phantasm,
Mm-hmm.
because he's obviously uncomfortable, needs to rest and heal.
It is you're using Morphean Embrace.
Yep.
You're
Morphin
going to roll
embrace.
perception plus phantasm. The
It's
difficulty
perception? I thought
Yep.
it was intelligence.
Perception, phantasm, difficulty is the target's willpower.
Okay, perception.
He resists with intelligent subterfuge.
Hey.
What's my difficulty?
Your difficulty is 7.
Oh, fuck. 1, 2, 3. That is 6.
And his eyes close. And he settles down, but he keeps talking.
Good. Can we understand him a little better now that he's not freaking out?
Overlord. Emerald Overlord. The Trapper. He shoved me in. He killed me. Took my mask. Stole what is mine. It's the Trapper. Beware the Trapper. And then you see his body start to disappear.
Shit. What? How?
Okay, first off, I just knocked him out. I didn't destroy him.
No, you didn't. You did not. But he gets a peaceful smile on his face in his sleep. And his body
Fades.
begins to break down and succumb to the wounds that it had sustained.
I think that was the Reverend.
Does not look like the Reverend.
No, this is.
He said somebody stole his mask.
The Overlord.
Beware the
Emerald
Trapper.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is the Trapper? Is that another one of these specters? Is it a doppelganger? Why was he with these people? What the fuck happened?
Isaac's going to turn around and look at her and, do you think we have these answers?
I know, okay, I know.
Well, calm down, okay? Stay in the light. They haven't come for us. Keep yourself safe. Don't be foolish.
And
we've seen what this can do. Let's keep our ass safe.
Isaac, so you know, or Tamshu, you've lost one angst on Alexis's shadow. Because of something about that peaceful smile he gave as he was passing, weakened the angst in Alexis.
No, he said the Emerald Overlord, and he took his mask.
Does that mean
We make note of it.
doppelganger-
If any of the Legionnaires survive, we report it to them.
Yeah. Are y'all out there?
And when you say that, you hear a scream.
Fuck.
And it's a voice you recognize. It is Taylor's voice screaming.
Let's not yell again, all right?
And
just
scream
calm
gets
down.
louder. And then you see these shapes come back into the camp, dragging Taylor behind them. They don't even look at you, all 10 of them. They're dragging Taylor by his hair. And he screams at you all, help, just help, something, stop him. And you hear Reverend's voice cry out, don't, you can't. The mourners came for him. And Taylor's panicked trying to break free, but he can't. And he's drugged through the camp and taken out the other side as the Reverend, Caroline, and the 4 others now come back into the camp, all of them shaken, terrified.
Who's the
What just
Emerald
happened?
Overlord?
Well, there's Martin's the Emerald Lord now. He's been there ever since Daniel became Anacreon.
Beware. What was it he said?
The trapper.
The Trapper
That's talking about.
stole his
motherfucker
mask
came in here.
and is
Their
the
body was being
Emerald
ripped apart.
Overlord.
And the Reverend looks. Rest of you go. You didn't hear that? Trust me on this. And the rest of the Legionnaires kind of pad away. Where did you hear that?
Someone walked into the light. They were tattered and ripped apart.
I was
And
able to. He was muttering, and he was in a lot of pain, and I was able to put him to sleep.
You don't want to repeat that.
I understand, but it calmed him.
But no, I'm talking, you don't want to repeat what you told us. If what you say is true.
Your ranks have been infiltrated.
No, you're dead. Let me tell you a little story. About 200 years ago, Daniels was the overlord of the Emerald Legion. Well, he wanted to be the overlord. And then, suddenly, we found out Daniels had been wearing the overlord's mask. Claimed the overlord had been drug away by specters. And he was now overlord. You see what I'm talking?
Oh, I see.
And now he's Anacreon. So if what you're saying is true, and I can't doubt you because you had no way to know this history.
No.
If what you're saying is true, he'll kill you.
Fantastic. Then it's a good thing Prudence thinks that we belong to fate and wants Sabrina to take us.
Well, if you open your damn mouth, sure. You're suggesting, and I believe you, let's say I've heard from someone else that the Spectre's taking away the previous Overlord. Daniel getting his mask may not have been strictly true. Any way you look at it, Daniel became Overlord, or Daniels. Now, he's the Anacreon. I'm sure you understand what that means.
A lot of power. A lot of power.
And if he has even an inkling that you know anything about how he got his mask officially, let's just say you won't make it to the forges. You won't make it to a tribunal. You won't leave the prison cells. I can trust my people. They're mine. Don't repeat what you said to anyone else.
Of course not.
No. Who are the mourners?
The hell was that?
We don't know what they are. Specters. They come randomly. And they always go after one person. The one that's marked for them. We've tried to fight them. Doesn't end well. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes 5. I once saw 200 come out of a knee hill in the ground, and everyone who opposed them was killed.
What was that moaning?
They found their target.
Interesting.
They were keening, singing to him.
Oh, shit.
Don't know why they come. We don't know why. They choose who they do. But we don't know. You don't know who they're after until they lay their hands on them. But if you oppose them, even if you defeat the ones there,
More will come.
more will come. Could be a day, could be a week, could be a year. But more. And the more you resist them, the larger the numbers.
And so you can't possibly fight back?
And you lose more every time they try. Because anyone who opposes them. You notice we didn't fight them.
Didn't.
Once we knew who he was after, we couldn't. They would have just killed us. And drug him anyway.
Where do they take him? Do you know?
To the knee hill. The Tempest.
What do they do?
We don't know. We never get him
Okay.
back. He's
Never.
lost. He could go to the Labyrinth. He could be going straight to the Maw of Oblivion for all I know. All I know is once the mourners take them, they're gone. We've lost them. He was a good soldier. Haven't seen them. Wow. It's been 50 years since the last mourner sighting around here. But I guess there's another one now. Yeah.
So, okay. Not that we're ever talking about this again, but where did the wraith that stumbled out to us come from? Was he one of your men?
He used to be the Overlord. I remember him If it's the one you're talking of, the way you speak.
Then
Yeah.
it's hard to describe because he was so tattered.
That's what we look like when we've endured too much, taken too many wounds, been injured. I mean, we, as you've noticed, we're resilient, but we have limits.
And came running in towards the light, basically, and then he collapsed.
Well, he would run to the light. A lot of people know what those are. Those marked Legionnaires. We're the only ones with those lanterns.
Hmm.
And it's dimmed right back down now, and the street lights are back up to normal brightness.
Interesting what they did with the lights.
They drew it.
They
It's
drew the
entropy.
energy?
No, it's entropy.
Oh.
It's Oblivion.
Hmm.
If you'd look closely, the lights were dim because they were burning out. It was like they were at the end of
Their life cycle.
their life cycle.
Hmm.
And if you'd seen any of the Quick's food, say an apple, nearby when this happened, the apple would have been rotting until they left. Because they are creatures of entropy.
Hmm.
I don't think it's real. I don't think the Quick ever see it. Though I've seen once before where the Quick were nearby when the mourners came. And the Quick left the room. They'd just leave. It's almost like subconsciously they know something is happening that they don't want to be near. I guess when you're live, you ever get that feeling when you're in a room that you're being watched and you just need to get out of the room for a few minutes? I guess that's about what it looks like they're experiencing. It's very odd. He's a good soldier. He's going to be missed. It's one less.
I am sorry for your loss.
It's a war.
I understand, but it doesn't make the loss any less painful.
No. But it's what we all go through, you know? Now you see the seriousness of what we're doing. And what makes it worst of all, took his breastplate with him, sword with him. Souls that made that are lost to us as well.
Didn't even think about that.
Tell me, do any of the specters that attack have Stygian steel?
Some. A lot of them, they don't like to touch it. But some. Don't know what to do with it all. But then again, sometimes we find renegades with Legionnaire breastplates. Now, whether they killed a Legionnaire and took it, or did they trade for it? Or is it like everything else that ends up in the Tempest? It just washes up somewhere. It's like a sea of things.
Like, I bet these fucking morons are drawing them without even knowing it. I bet that this entire society is drawing these monsters to it. That's why they're losing a war. You need to get the fuck away from them. Run as far as you can. If you're alone, you're better. Don't fucking forget it.
And the rest of the Legionnaires come back. And you even see Caroline, who was before trying to, swelled up, but her tail is down. She kind of pads in, almost ashamed because you'd seen her run. The rest of the guards go up. Now you see why we don't travel much at night.
Well, I guess it wouldn't matter, would it? Nothing could have stopped that.
There's other things.
Do they come mostly at night? Mostly?
They come whenever. But there's other things that could have come. I think it was 2 years ago. We were set on by striplings out here, as a matter of fact. kids.
I saw one.
The whole times they were singing Hot Cross Buns, I think, as they were trying to kill us.
Does that happen to many kids?
There's about as many kids become us as adults. No rhyme or reason. Some you're going to find, as you're going to soon see, some of them adapt quite well.
Is that what Sabrina is?
I'd put her probably 9
That's what I figured.
when she died.
Fine when she died.
Mhm.
They grow up here, then, in a manner of speaking.
She's grown up. Don't let the body with a child's face fool you. Sure as hell don't let that goddamn t-shirt she wears fool you.
T-shirt.
And Enrique kind of stumbles over and goes, she wears a Ghostbusters t-shirt.
Of course she does.
She thinks it's funny. I think she does it just to...
Tweak some noses?
yeah, I think that's basically it, yeah. I think she does it just to mess with Natalia.
Who's Natalia?
Anacreon of the Penitent Legion. Watch out for her.
What did they do?
Those who succumb to madness. But in her case, she's a smiling, happy sort that will smile the whole time she's sending you to the forges. Or smile the whole time that she's sentencing you to 30 years of thraldom.
Thraldom different from
Slavery. It's the worst of the jobs.
even over being a fucking dog? No
It's
offense.
cleaning the streets of the ebbs and flows of what comes on our side. It's cleaning up bits and pieces of wraiths that have been destroyed. It is some of the worst jobs out there.
Jesus.
Stoking the fires themselves of the forge, working the bellows. I mean, it is not good work.
If we do make it to the tribunal, which I know is what it really will be, you've already mentioned the Anacreons of Emerald, Penitent, and of course we know Fate.
Mm-hmm.
What others will be there?
Well, you know of the Emerald, Anacreon of the Grim,
And who is that?
those who die the violent death.
No, who is the Anacreon?
Jebediah.
Jebediah.
You know of Sabrina, Nancy,
And she is?
Anacreon of the Paupers. Those who die of mysterious deaths. Justin is the Anacreon of the Silent Legion. Those who die of despair.
Do they actually not talk? Or is it just a name?
They talk. Then, of course, you have Natalia.
Mm-hmm.
Each city, some city have more, some have less. I wasn't going to tell you this, but I'm going to warn you. Don't put all your faith in Sabrina saving you. She is an Anacreon, but she has no vote. None
Why?
of the Lady of Fates have votes.
Well, who the
They have
fuck
no
votes?
say in how the city is run. That is the will of the lady. They
Who's the lady?
advise.
They let things
Do
run
they
their
have
course.
a legion?
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, I apologize. I spoke over you, Dan.
I said they let things run their course.
Mm-hmm.
They advise. They give tips, suggestions. They claim their own. But they make no decisions. The decisions are made by the rest. And that is the one thing in common in every city. Those who are
What-
Lady Fates do not wield power, the same as others.
What does the Legion of Fate do? What is their thing? Do they
They
have a
serve
thing?
fate. I mean, they have civilians that track those who are members of the Legion. track those who owe debts, who owe bonds, who may be claimed by the Legion but are in thraldom, who may be claimed by the Legion that are slaves. They have their own military. Most of them, because the Legion of Fate is the smallest of all of them. From what I've seen, they all do multiple jobs. Everyone is expected to be able to be flexible. I will say from experience, their military units are some of the most unorthodox, but biggest assets in the field. They operate in small teams.
Shock troops.
No, they do not.
Maybe
They
SEALs.
are, I think, someone called them the equivalent of special forces.
Mhm.
They are flexible. They do not use standard tactics. They do not follow one command. They are independent cells of troops that are trained to have independence, have flexibility to do whatever needs to be done, which makes them extremely valuable in reconnaissance and skirmish units and let's just say targeted removal of enemy assets. Just because they're ladies' fates does not mean they don't fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes those must be destroyed as well. And you will find some of them, 5 or 6 Lady Fates, will remove an enemy general.
Shit.
They don't play power. But like all legions, they ensure our survival.
Are we going to be split up?
You could. That will depend on the decision made. It's going to ultimately be up to what they decide to do as punishment and who they assign you to. You may stay together. You may go to different legions. You claim to be the Fates. Daniel says you're Emerald Legion.
Well, we got the fucking mark. Isn't that hard to dispute?
But she has no vote.
As far as
She will
Where
try to
we
claim
go?
hers. She will
I
try
mean-
to claim hers. But just because she tries to claim hers, she normally gets what she wants. If only to stop other fights from happening. Because in your case, you are... I suspect, because of what you've told me about it not just being a normal crash, I suspect Nancy is going to want you for the paupers. Mysterious death.
it's not mysterious, I've already solved the case.
But it is mysterious. While you may have solved the case, do you know everything for it? She will still claim you died under mysterious purposes. And then Daniels will claim, but you died under an accident. And when those two are opposed, who gets you? Do we cut you in half? Is it Solomon?
Fucking do that.
Right.
Okay.
So this is where the politics come in. And this is where a lot of times Lady Fate steps in. To prevent the fight,
Thank you.
who would you give it to?
That was very valuable information.
Yeah, that is. Thanks.
How much longer will we have to be here? How much longer till daylight?
It'll be in a few hours. But we'll try to make it to Richmond tomorrow. Look, you seem like nice people. I don't like what I'm going to have to do when we get there. But I'm going to put you in a cell. I don't have a choice.
Called it.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, you did.
We did.
And just so you know, it's not a cell you can walk through the walls.
Of course not.
Of course.
Mhm.
I don't have a choice. It's not my say. But I will say, once you get out of all this, if you're ever looking for something outside of Richmond, I am the Marshal of Hanover. And if you're in the Emerald Legion, I could always use some good troopers.
Got it. At least you seem like a good, decent gentleman.
Look, a lot of people I've seen here that when the mourners came, they just seen it as their chance to run. You didn't. And that says something. Because I'll be honest, we might not have been able to catch you at the time. Because once they've come through, let's just say Caroline's scent is a little bit fucked up at the moment. Because all she smells is them. But you didn't try to run. And for that, it's worth giving you that extra info to give you a chance.
We agreed to come willingly.
A lot of people say that. But do you know how many actually do it?
I hold my commitments seriously.
Good.
And that's a good way to eventually climb the ranks. But do you know how many actually do it? Especially of the newer ones. Especially ones who know that they risk the forges. Most run for it.
Well, that's a surefire way to go to the forges as soon as you're caught.
Yeah, but they don't think that way. And, I mean, if 20% of them get away.
Wow.
Where do you go? I mean, to be honest, where can you go?
Fucking no.
You want to live out in the woods forever?
I walk
Not
across the fucking
particularly.
ocean and go to Hawaii. Maybe I can take a vacation.
Just because you're dead doesn't mean you can cross that ocean. As a matter of fact, my advice for you is to never go to the ocean. You're not going to like what you find out.
Lots of fish specters.
It is the Tempest.
What?
The Tempest touches our world closest, where the ocean is.
Great.
You don't want to cross
Kansas,
that.
then.
You might be able to go on a ship. That's been done a few times. Just pray you're not. I've heard of a few that were on Titanic. I don't know because we never saw them again, but there was rumors that Titanic had a few that were coming across. And let's just say, Titanic didn't make it, neither did they.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
If it was
So
easy
we're-
being dead, we'd be a lot more happy, wouldn't we? We'd be more like the Joker over there, talking about puns and laughing. But it's not easy.
This world's fucking crazy.
Sister, you don't know the half of it yet.
I bet I don't.
You will.
At that comment, Noah's going to go back and kind of find that spot he was before.
Okay.
Sit.
Y'all settle in for the night. Don't worry, we'll keep eye. The lantern should warn us of most things. We've had enough, I think, for tonight. Hopefully we don't get anything else. I got to go talk to my people for a bit, though, because as you can tell, we're a little bit off-put by what just happened.
Since the
And the Reverend just kind of nods. And as he turns to walk away, you actually catch him making the symbol of the cross. He does it, tries to do it subtly, but it's still obvious he did it as he turns and walks away, leaving you all to each other.
He hasn't lost all his faith.
I can't imagine anyone ever would.
Oh, I'm
Especially in
sure
this-
it can happen here.
So
In
there's
this
no
large place?
legion of, died peacefully in their sleep? Natural deaths?
Yeah, son of a bitch. We had died peacefully. Would he just have gone on to whatever the hell is after? If there's anything after at all?
Don't you always find it mysterious when somebody dies peacefully in their sleep? That's probably where you end up.
Oh, true. Yeah. Oh, fuck me.
Don't know.
This
Maybe.
world is fucking insane.
Absolutely bonkers. Too much.
I can't believe this was sitting on the other side. Can't fucking believe it. I'm gonna wake up from this at some point. And go, damn, that was a fucking crazy dream. At least I hope so.
Hope is a dangerous thing, Aurora.
Yeah, well, if I ever run out of it, I'll walk up to a specter and let him take me to the Maw of Oblivion. I guess.
And when you said that, you get a chill as you hear a wailing scream in the air in the night, coinciding with that exact statement you had said. And you all hear it. It's off in the distance, but you hear a wail, a scream.
Can you tell how far away?
It's hard to tell. You would have to know how loud it was in the first place.
Might hate bureaucracy, but I'm gonna feel a lot safer in a town where people are defending than out here.
Alexis is going to sit back down by the light again.
Okay. And do you all have any other discussions to make this night, or do you all just kind of settle in and...
No, not really. Mark's going to go back to looking at the lamp, just seeing if he can figure out what's going on with it. But as he gets closer to it and more in the light, everyone else can see that he's lost his safety blanket, his lab coat that that was part of his safe space that he wrapped around himself after finding himself dead, but not quite dead. As he comes to realize what actually is happening to us.
Y'all keep changing your outfits. You have the same thing I can do.
No, it's just our self-projection, I guess.
Okay.
You were told that by Thomas.
Yeah,
It's how you see yourself.
I've decided that, reveling at my best moment is not going to help me survive. I need to be the woman I was at death. The woman who had clawed her way up the ranks of the fucking FBI. Doing all she could to ensure justice.
They were gonna fucking need it.
If everyone's settling in, despite earlier trepidations and about what's going on, Noah has time to think back on the last few days, and despite all the bad that's happened, the only thing that comes top of mind is that even in death, he's going to be a dad. He has 2 kids that are going to be there to take care and be there for Claire. And as the snow falls, I'm going to use mood music and try and instill a sense of hope in everyone who can hear. And just kind of in his corner where he is, he'll just start. To old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of auld lang syne? Just keep it at that. In an effort to instill a little bit of hope in what seems like a very hopeless situation right now.
When you started singing, you actually saw Caroline's head come up and look at you. And it's cocked to the side. And she watches entranced as you sing. And everyone here feels a lifting of hope. And if you have any passions related to hope, you are allowed to roll against them. If not, we'll talk afterwards whether you still manage to get something from it.
No, that just made Alexis feel honestly even worse.
You don't have to roll for this one.
Okay.
This is the first time you've manifested the power and it came spontaneously. You didn't know you could do it as a wraith. But sometime in the night, Caroline actually pads over closer to you. And then a very low grumbling growl says, "Someone will find you."
I kind of pat her on the head just out of reflex, being a dog creature. Hopefully that was okay. They should have probably asked first.
You will get admittance to the Chanteurs. One will find you. I will make sure.
If that's what fate has in store for me.
Then she pads off again. And the night falls, and as the darkness lifts and daylight comes, you're taken once again on the march to Richmond. And is there any talk on the rest of this walk to Richmond? I'm not sure if any of you have the energy to talk at this point.
No one would be walking with a little bit of a resolve. It's like he's really taken to the fact that what will be and what will happen is going to happen. And if his actions change it, it changes it. If not, it's not. But he's just going to face it head on. So he walks a little taller than he may have the last day. Presses on.
Okay. And it's Christmas Day as you're walking here. Does anyone have any conversations they're having on the walk, or are we going to reach Richmond right now? I will leave that up to the players.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
It's not the best Christmas ever, but it could be worse.
Yeah.
Lexus moves closer to Margot and just grabs her hand.
I don't know about all of you, but I got the best present that I could have asked for. I'm going to be a dad. Well, I would have been a dad.
Congratulations. You are a dad. You're still you. Just on one side of this reflection.
As your group reaches the outskirts of Richmond, you see a Richmond you don't recognize. It's not the Richmond that you've seen in life so many times. The city has rubble in the streets, looks burnt out in places. It looks as if all the various wars that were fought here during our battles from the Civil War at the end, half of it's never been repaired. The decay of the city is obvious. There's a smoky smell, a smell of death, decay of rot, as you're led through the city. And as you march through, the biggest thing that strikes you is the sheer number of wraiths you see watching you as you march down the street. More than you expected. You try to count, but during this walk, you can't count as many as you see. You know there's at least 1,000. Because as you're marching, a number of them come out to watch. It's not often they see a group of 6 marched inside a group of legionnaires. And you're led to the Capitol building of Richmond. Except the marble is cracked and pitted. The stairs are damaged. When you step into the main area, you notice that the white and black tiled marble floors is damaged and old and pitted, but it also seems to have something moving in it. It's almost as if the floor is writhing with movement in it as you're walking by. Even the statue of George Washington, something that in Richmond is a point of pride because it's the only statue they know of that was actually created while George Washington was still alive. And it sits in the State House. It's green with all the patina damaged and cracked. You can see how it's been repaired over the years. The repair's quite obvious. You're led down the stairs into a tunnel and a basement where the walls are slick. And as you're walking through it, it doesn't take long to realize what the walls are slick with. The walls are bleeding under the State House, all of them. A thin sheen of blood as you're taken through. And the Reverend catches that look, Margot. We don't know why it bleeds. We've been told it's because of all the bloodshed here.
I'm a native of this town. I know her history.
It's the blood of all those innocents who died. That is what they say. All I know is it bleeds.
It's real fucking creepy.
Like a
Sorry, I
weird
gotta
scene
do
in my
this.
book. Jesus.
Sorry. He leads you down and takes you to a door that is quite solid on this side. And he opens it up. And he says, good luck.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thanks.
If you make it out of this, you know where to find me, or maybe I'll come see you at some point. I've got to find out how this ends right now. I want to know who you end up with, because I have a feeling it's going to be a hell of an argument.
Stay safe.
Exactly.
Please.
The Legion endures. And he gives you a salute and turns and walks away. As the door is shut and you're locked in this cell.
Are the walls bleeding?
Yes, unfortunately. Now, it's odd. It is bleeding. When you touch it, it's on your finger. But the moment you pull your finger away, the blood is no longer on your finger. Because it doesn't come with you.
Interesting. Well, at least it won't stain anything.
And now that you're locked in this cell, you do hear moans. Slight. Whimpers. You can't tell if it's people in other cells or if it's the nature of the place.
Of course.
And groans. And creaks of floorboards that don't exist. Because there are no floorboards here. This is a subterranean room. Your guess is it's one of the old storerooms under the building.
Are there any sort of amenities in the room?
No.
Is it just a bare room?
It's just a bare room. Walls, ceiling, floor. No seats, no windows, no pot. Nothing's in this storage room. It's just empty.
How big is it?
It is probably about 10 foot by 10 foot, maybe slightly larger by pacing it off. It's tight even for 6 people.
You'd think after 4 days, our feet would be tired, but like it's all in my head and like I could just keep standing.
It's habitual at this point, tiredness. It's not real. I don't feel it.
Strange. Yeah.
I feel like I should, that's the weird part.
And you're left in this room. I will let you have any talk you want because you're going to be here for a few days. So I turn this scene over to the players in their cell.
I saw the looks that you were getting, Alexis. You got an idea? Got a plan?
I do. The Reverend gave me the tip-off I needed. They're going to argue over the circumstances of our death. Thanks to Margot, I have all the information needed to ensure they understand it was not accidental and it was not mysterious.
What if they don't believe you?
They can pull it from my memory.
Shit, I didn't even think
Hell,
about that.
I can put it in their memory, but they'd probably kill me for it.
Mhm.
That seems like a
worried.
strictly a thing you should ask for. Sorry, Isaac, didn't mean to talk over you.
I'm more worried about them punishing someone.
No, great.
Oh, they're going to punish all of us. I'm pretty sure of that.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to be a fucking dog, y'all.
Not if we're useful.
If we show that we are useful, they will put us in menial fucking jobs that nobody else wants to do, and for a time period, and that's what we'll do.
Maybe the Anacreon has something for us. Maybe that's what they're gonna argue so fiercely, right?
And I understand, Margot, that your actions are what flagged us, but don't worry. Even if it comes out that you did, have you learned from it?
Yeah, I have. That one's a bad one.
Yeah, and we can promote that you didn't realize what you were doing, and when you were corrected on it, you have not done it since.
What were you saying, Tark? Sorry.
Well, while we're being given useful jobs, that's going to make our paying our debt back to Mort and gang a little difficult.
Oh God, I forgot about that. You're fucking right, Tark.
We got a
Do you
year.
think they're going to try and come collect?
They hit us with something, some sort of power. It'll fuck us up.
It'll
When
fuck
the
us
contract-
up.
When the contract is broken at the year mark, it'll fuck us up no matter where we are.
Yeah.
Worst comes to worst, I can impersonate and try to infiltrate.
We can't even hurt him. That was part of the agreement.
Maybe I can steal some of them coins.
You can't. I'm still not part of the deal.
That's right.
We just have to figure out a way to hurt them that I can do.
Need to get that man a fucking gun.
Yeah, but
I need a sword. Don't I look like the,
Well, you want one? I don't know if I can fucking give it to you, but
Aurora, lend me a hand.
If you get me a fucking gun, I can actually use it.
the bullets will be made out of souls, though.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I can will it to work. I don't know.
yeah, we can use whatever's fueling us, these powers, to do it.
Give me some rope and some good wood, and I can make someone hurt for quite a bit.
I wonder if they're eavesdropping on us.
Oh, of course they are.
I'm sure they are. Yeah.
I think the walls can hear us. The fucking floor is moving.
And you mention that and you look and you notice why it's moving. There's fossils all through the marble that's in the floor. And the fossils are moving, trying to get out of the marble, but they can't because they're embedded in it. They're forever writhing and wriggling, trying to break free of a fate that they can't.
No fucking way. Whoa.
Talk about rattling faith. What kind of god would do this? What kind of god would have a place like this exist? Fuck.
This world really sucks.
Well, I mean, I guess it's not like I need to, but I don't know. Sleep through it. It's one way to shut out the freaking trauma of this freaking place.
Moans. This room is moaning at us. Because of course it is.
Everything's fucking moaning in this place. Oh my God.
I am cursing so much. I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
And we're moaning about it moaning.
Yeah.
Redundant, I guess.
If you listen to it just right, it could be a little bit musical.
We
Opera.
got Noah
Yeah,
for that.
I never liked opera either.
Noah's got some singing parts, it seems.
Isaac's going to walk over to Alexis and put out his hand.
I don't know. Is it safe to touch you? Let's find
He
out.
wipes it on the wall.
Now it's
she
covered in
puts her
blood.
hand in his.
And he will take and hold her arm up and put his arm around her waist and just start doing a slow waltz with her. Come on, catch the beat.
I will dance with him.
And when you touch him, you don't feel. Go ahead, Shadow.
Oh, is Zach already replacing her? Wow, you move on so fucking fast. Shame, shame.
Apparently, dancing with you is a sin. Dave said so.
You know, Dave and the cunt in my head should get together. I think they'd be the best of friends.
Noah, I just want to say I appreciate the singing, by the way. It was nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Didn't really feel like me. Felt like it was a little more whatever these abilities are. You know? No one seemed mad that I did it, so I'm going to chalk it up that. I'm going to chalk it up that it's allowed. Whatever I did.
When I told the Reverend I put the guy to sleep, he didn't, tell me not to do that. So I guess that's okay too.
Don't do that to the anacrons, though.
No.
Someone tells me they might not like it.
I'm sure that would piss somebody off, but yeah.
We're gonna find a way to deal with this.
I can be very persuasive when I need to be. So hopefully it's enough.
I'm good at weaseling my way out of things. And if there's a way to get back to the Skinlands or to get the hell out of this world that isn't just oblivion, we'll find it. You gotta believe that.
And in a moment of silence, the moaning, Aurora seems to get a bit louder. And in that moaning, there's a voice you almost recognize, Aurora. Your child is crying. That is the moan you hear.
This kid's here. We gotta get out of this.
And locked in this cell, just the six of you for you don't know how many days. After a very disturbing trip and what's become a very disturbing case of death. Aurora hearing her own child crying and the moans around them. Isaac and Alexis try to get a moment of levity and dance. Margot trying to figure out just how fucked up things are. Noah trying to understand what happened when he sang because he knew something came. It wasn't just singing at that point. And Noah being told there's a guild looking for him. And Tark losing his safety blanket, his shield that he had wrapped himself in to try to keep normalcy in a world that is not normal. This is where Episode 1, Season 2 of Wraith Life Derailed will end. And I would like to thank, of course, my players for coming back for Season 2. Because...
Sneaky threatened.
Yep.
We had no choice.
Before anyone disappears in Twitch chat, pop on our Discord right now, vote on who gets viewer XP for this episode, because I know what happens the moment we stop the scenes, people start to go find because they've got other shows they got to see. We understand. Pop in a Discord though and vote on who gets the viewer XP for this episode. It can be for any reason. It can be for no reason.
If you can't decide, say all of them, because sometimes Shanky's nice and gives us all bonus XP.
True. Very true.
But it could be for Noah reason too. I mean, I'm not
Oh my God.
And just for that, do not give Noah XP.
All of them but Noah.
Yes.
This
On
was a
no
bit of a
account should he get
this
any
was a dark
XP.
episode.
All right.
Oh, see, you're killing me. This was a dark episode, but it was not dark in the same way I think the first season was. This one is highlighting more of the unknown horror parts of what you've gotten yourselves into. Everybody gets 1 XP
Yay.
for playing. Everybody gets, of course, 1 XP for role play. And now we're going around the table for what did you learn? And we will start with Isaac. What did you learn, Isaac?
It's a dog's life, especially if you get in trouble for doing something you shouldn't, like
Be Caroline.
possessing someone.
I mean, that's a good thing to learn.
Never seen a dog so big.
Noah, what did you learn?
That singing has both positive and negative effects in this world. It's not just, it actually has power.
Power songs have always given emotion, but over here, as emotion is everything. Yeah. Tark, what did you learn?
I think that that the beings that have positions of power always wear masks, in that they never show their true face.
And
that,
it's funny,
that mask.
the Reverend never put one on taking you in. He was supposed to. But what happened that night before
Shook him.
shook him. He did not put his mask on. Margot.
Well, we're pretty fucked. At least Margot had somebody or some people around for Christmas to make it seem a little less brutal. But this world is a very twisted and fucked up version of our world.
It is.
And fortunately, it follows some of the same fucking rules. Power corrupting and
Not the good rules. It's always the bad rules, isn't it?
mm-hmm.
Alexis, what did you learn?
She basically learned all about the governmental structure in Richmond's hierarchy. She learned who the power players were. She learned how they are going to argue over them. So that informed her how to develop a case to make sure they end up with fate.
Valid. And Aurora, what did you learn?
Learned a lot. Learned about the government, how it works, how it can be corrupted, or how people can be reasoned with or changed, or how nothing is set in stone with them. And even though there's procedure, they can argue over it, which is, she thinks that's pretty fucking dumb. And that the chances of getting out of here are lower than she would like.
That's true. So everyone gets one for learning something.
Alexis also learned that she can't even get a fucking moment to grieve. But
Right there with you.
Yeah, also that
Oh,
you
yeah.
might die or get pulled by specters and there's nothing anyone can do to stop them and it's for no reason that they can discern at all. Great. You can just, it's like a fucking aneurysm. You're gone.
Moving gangs of kidnappers.
And you also watched a Wraith pass fully
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Degrade
and
And,
become nothing.
star modes.
Fed to oblivion. Without being a specter.
Yep.
So now we go to the player vote. Now the player vote is who does the players think advanced the story the most or were most crucial to this episode? And we start with Margot this time.
Oh, geez. I gotta give it to Noah for the song. That did bring some hope back up. Even into me.
Okay. Alexis?
Come back to me.
Okay. Aurora?
Come back to me. This is a hard
Damn
one.
it. Tark, what about you?
I'm going to say Alexis for learning about the government, how it works, and how maybe to formulate a plan for us to not get the worst of the deal.
Okay. Now we go to Noah.
Yeah, Alexis, she did most of the legwork, I think, this session.
Okay, so we got 2 Alexis, 1 Noah. Isaac?
Alexis, because again, she did the legwork mostly while we were dancing. But
Party har har, right? Yeah. I mean, okay.
Isaac's such a fucking flirt.
So right now we have 3 Alexis, 1 Noah. We go back to Alexis.
I'm honestly going to give mine to Tark. I liked how he was really trying to figure out stuff that we had not been exposed to before. That was good.
And now we go to Aurora.
Alexis did a lot of good stuff this one. I'm probably gonna give it to her.
And so definitely Alexis gets 1.
Thank you, guys.
And now the question is, do I give 1 to Noah and Tark? Noah has gotten 1 for singing again. I'm not going to give him a bonus 1 for singing. He needed about 2 more verses, and then I'd give him another one. I will give Tark 1
to be fair, I think you gave 1 to everyone that at the end of that session because it was such a great session. But that's not here nor there.
I will definitely give 1 to Tark because he really showed that engineered side of him where he was so fascinated with this lamp
Yeah.
light.
Yep.
And yes, I will give you 1 too, Tark or Noah.
Yeah, hard time.
Oh, I got 2?
I said, you can't know. Going forward, if I'm going to be leaning into this, like you can't say, oh, like, every time I sing a song, like that's not what I'm trying to do.
He will start an episode singing and sing the whole time.
Yeah, I'm not
discovering that ability and using it to soothe us in a moment of trauma.
It was the way
I think
you
that's
used
totally
it.
worth.
That
Yeah.
really.
That's why I will give 1 to Alexis, 1 to Noah, 1 to Tark because it wasn't the singing part. It was how you used it.
Yeah, it was how you
used it in a time to
try to boost hope.
After a soul-crushing event for everyone involved.
I'm sorry, Alexis's soul's kind of ragged.
And of course, if you want to, we've already mentioned the Discord. Join us on the Discord. That's where we cast this. You can talk about this episode right in the Necropolis. That's where you vote for your viewer XP. Check it out. We've got a great people over there. We got a nice community. We love it. Other shows get cast there too, which is cool. Sorry, there's no openings in Wraith, but we have other shows that pop up all the time and guest players in some streams, and it's all done through the Discord. So check that out. If you want to watch back content of us or Haunted Chronicles or Ishvel, they're over here in the YouTubes. Check them out. Yep, over there. I've learned it's this way. If you want to check out some great content, look at our friends. And then I said it's this way, and then I go this. Check out our friends list over here. A whole list of people, great content that do not just horror, but we've got just. I'm not going through and naming them all this week, but check them out over there. Cool people. We love them. They do some great content.
And if you like the content that we're providing for you, give us a follow. If you are able to do a subscription, that's fantastic. If you have Amazon Prime, you actually get a free subscription every month that you might want to consider giving it to us. Also, bits and donations that are given during our streams do not go to Shanky or myself. Okay, we are McStabber. We are the McStabbers, so we don't get that. But the players here at the table with us do get those bits and donations. So if you give any, they will get some money, maybe for a coffee or some lunch or something. And also, coming up over the next week, we have got Ishvel on Saturday. I believe Haunted Chronicles is back on Tuesday.
Darker Waters, yeah.
Darker Waters is next week, and then the following week is Haunted Chronicles.
I did it again.
Yeah, that's okay. But yep. So Ishvel is Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Monday, Tam will actually be over on Onyx Path doing his Hunter the Vigil 2E game called Stuffed. We'll be hosting it here on McStabber Studios, but go check that out on the Onyx Path Twitch channel on Monday night at 8 p.m. And then he'll be back here on Tuesday night with Haunted Chronicles. And Ravenya's in that. Dan's in that house there. And Evie was in that. We don't know if she's going to make a comeback or not.
She's dead.
She's dead.
She died of the Black Plague.
She died of the plague. Maybe she could be, a Geist or something in there. But Ooh. And then we will be back on Wednesday at 8 p.m. with episode 2 of Wraith Life Derailed. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you all for coming in. I hope you enjoy this upcoming season. It started off with a different kind of horror. We've done the I rip your all hearts out. Now you're going to see some of the darker aspects of what it means to be dead.
So you rip it out and then you stomp on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And being locked in a dungeon room.
That is fucking torture.
In a 10 by 10 cell with 6 people.
That is fucking torture.
With walls that are bleeding. With moaning. That sounds like Aurora's kid. She's pretty fucked up.
At least they're not closing in on us.
Yeah.
Whoever did that to her is a real jerk.
Yep. And being left that in there for a few days is going to be rough. And we're going to pick up next week. So I hope to see you all there. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you. And good night.
Good night, everybody.
Nighty night, y'all.